But if he does, he'd have to say goodbye to his 5 children from 3 different women. The second youngest is 5-year-old Navy Roberts, whose mom says he's never been held by her dad, Hunter. She also says Navy has never met her grandfather, that is the President of the United States. Lunden Roberts writes about those missing relationships and about her own troubled relationship with Hunter Biden in her new book, Out of the Shadows, My Life Inside the Wild World of Hunter Biden. She joins us now in her first interview since Hunter Biden's conviction. I think every day almost now, certainly of the trial, we learned just how wild the life with Hunter would have been, or how wild his life was. You know, the Biden family really tried to crush you over and over and over again, and ignored you and belittled you. And I'm wondering now if Hunter's conviction and the public acknowledgement of how crazy his life really was and the things he did isn't somehow justice for you.
I wouldn't say justice for me. I'm not out there to get justice and tell my story as some sort of, political warfare hit job. This is solely my story of emotions that I've had to process over years, and in hopes that I can help other people going through these same dark times.
So what are your emotions now that he's been convicted? This is the father of your child is now a convicted felon.
Well, you have to respect the judicial system, and also respect that all individuals are held accountable, regardless of who they are and where they come from. And but as the mother of Hunter's child, my primary concern has always been the well-being of her and the future for her and his relationship. And it's my hope that the resolution of all these legal matters allow for them to continue that positive relationship.
Okay. Joe Biden flew back up to Delaware to be with Hunter today. I don't know if you saw that, and embraced him on the tarmac. And Joe Biden has made this huge point of being there for Hunter and how important it is for him to be there for his son, and on and on. Why do you think he never wanted to be there for his granddaughter?
I'm not sure. I can't explain, his behaviors and why they've chose not to step in. I've been advised by my attorneys that a lot of times grandparents don't step in until their child, steps in. And that's something new. That's something that, my child and her father are building. They're building that bond. So you would think hopefully, with time. But
yeah, we're looking right now at Hunter with one of his other children there at the tarmac in Delaware right after his conviction when the president came in. When you and Hunter were together, did he ever talk about his father as a parent? Did he describe his dad as a good parent, as overbearing, as he was trying to make him proud? How did we get from just a parenting perspective from somebody who seems to want to be there so much for his son and so little for his grandchild?
He did. Hunter always wanted to make his dad proud. That was a big thing. He wanted to make his dad proud, his children proud. It was something that he always wanted. He never really talked about anything other than that. I mean, you could tell by conversation that he just wanted to make him proud.
But not in terms of what Joe Biden was like as a parent that would raise somebody who had these issues? Did Hunter worry that his behavior was disappointing his dad? How about that?
Yes, he did. He worried about disappointing his entire family. Not
Tell
just
me about
his
that.
dad,
What did he say?
Several times, he would always talk about how he felt like he was a disappointment. And he hated that. He hated feeling like that and feeling like the black sheep and stuff. But this was during a dark time for Hunter when I knew him, and he was battling his addiction, and he felt like he was a disappointment at that time.
What would you say to him?
Try to encourage him. What can you say to someone who feels like a disappointment, and you see such potential in them, such great potential? You try to encourage, and you would.
Where does the arc of, and you make a great point that you only want to be there for your daughter and you want the very best thing for your daughter. Is the very best thing for your daughter to have a relationship with her grandparents? Is that important to you, that sometimes happens?
Well, as a mother, I feel like there's not enough people that can love your child. And if there are grandparents that can step in and play a positive role in your child's life, I don't see, how that's a bad thing.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.